What's up, Thumpers? Welcome back to a Season 2 review of Titans.
Our favorite show ever.
We have some things to say about this show, but before we get into talking about Titans Season 2, if you have not caught up, we have all our episodes available on Patreon. Now that this review is going to go up, all of the episodes for episodes 1 through 12 will be public.
Yay.
So you'll be able to go back. If you missed the boat and you didn't jump on when we talked about it week to week, every single Friday, we had some great people in the Patreon community leaving their comments on what they thought about the episodes.
Yeah.
I've been doing polls every week.
We had some great guests.
We had some great guests.
Did Matt Acevedo ever join
Matt
us?
Acevedo was here.
Uh-huh.
Andre Meadows was here talking.
Zach was in there?
Or Zach. Actually, Zach was here. Andre was not.
Andre
he
was
on
on the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
That's right. That's right. So we've had a pretty fun time talking about the highs and lows of this show. But speaking of Patreon, we're very close to hitting 400 patrons on Patreon. We're only about 20 away. And when we hit 400, we want to actually put a poll out for a new show for us to talk about.
Yes.
There's been so many great shows out, not just superhero related, shows like Watchmen, which has been blowing my mind. It's been so incredibly good.
I've only seen episode 1, so
oh my
I need
God,
to catch up.
bro, it's so
I
good.
know.
It's
Shows
so
like
unreal.
shows like Gendy Tartakovsky's Primal.
Primal,
Definitely
another
wanna do some
amazing
Primal.
show.
Shows like it just came out, only a few episodes, but the new Harley Quinn animated show
Yes.
Oh,
is
right.
actually fucking great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I use that F word on purpose.
So if you guys want to help our Patreon grow, we'd love to add another show. When we hit 400, we'll put out a poll for a brand new show.
And you'll pick.
We'll probably put about 3 or 4 choices on there. We'll pick, and then we'll probably start that in the new year. And if it ends up being something like Watchmen, yes, the show's already been airing. We will still go back and do episode by episode.
Right.
It'll be great for you because
I'm not
you'll
caught
either
up.
you can either catch up on it now, or you can wait and you can watch it with us, and then we can talk about it.
You know what? Let's leave that to the patrons to decide.
Oh,
do you want me
no.
to watch it with them, or do you want me to catch up on my own and we don't talk about it at all?
So good,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
Good questions.
And there's
Good
a lot
questions.
of there's a lot of great stuff out there, and the more the Patreon grows, the more that we can do this sort of stuff. Where if you're a patron in the Hyper Homies tier and above, you get early access. If you're in the $2 tier, you get a little earlier access, and then once the seasons end, then you get the full access. But I really want to start getting people in on the conversation early. We have some stuff that we'll talk about, some comments that people have made about this and The Mandalorian. I put out a poll for the Patreon to kind of get an idea of what people thought about it, and there were definitely some interesting thoughts about
Some controversial thoughts, maybe?
Well, yeah, because the way I polled it, it was like basically asking if they thought it was great, so-so, or just completely missed the ball. And I was actually really surprised by some of the results.
For Titans?
For Titans, yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
So it'll be
remember I sent
interesting.
you guys that comment section of Titans? People were jazzed on it. Like,
yeah.
people were so looking forward to this
I
last
feel-
episode.
I feel
was
like
not.
it's the most popular show on DC Universe.
Of course.
Like,
I mean,
people
it's
were
kind of
watching that.
Not the only one, but
People were watching that over Doom Patrol. People were watching
Okay.
that more than Young Justice, I feel
Okay.
like. It's just kind of the more popular
Sure,
show.
sure.
And I think they were watching that more than Swamp Thing.
yeah.
And
I
those are all the
feel-
originals so far.
I feel like this show put a lot of emphasis on the costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see a lot of costume stuff until this last episode. We
Yeah.
saw a few Hawk and Dove things, a few honk and donk things.
Honk and
Honk
Donk,
and
thank
Honk
you.
and- We saw a
Honk
few
and
honk
Donk.
and,
Trying to
saw a few
spread that
honk
out.
and donk things. We saw Wonder Girl suit up once. Still haven't seen Starfire suit up at all.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Beast
In the
Boy
traditional
kind
sense,
of
yeah.
kind of Beast
He's
Boy
been a
kind
tiger
of
the whole time.
tiger sometimes, but in this last episode, everybody was suited and booted. And looking at the comments, I feel like that's what a lot of people were looking for.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the people were super duper jazzed, and they did a good job with the costumes. The
Yeah.
costumes are not
Yeah.
one of my gripes for this season.
For sure. Yeah.
But how should we start this, Gab? What are we gonna
You want to talk about the last episode, the
So-
whole season? What do you want to do?
talk about? Last step. I mean, this is the last step,
This is
right?
it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it goes without saying there will be spoilers. We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna spoil the whole
Clearly.
season and this finale.
Clearly.
If you didn't know that going in, you've officially been warned.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get a sense from both of you guys what your thoughts were on just this final episode alone, episode 13, Nightwing. Obviously the big revelation of Nightwing, and then tying up the loose ends of things that were set up all the way back in mostly episode 2 and beyond, because episode 1 was mostly like a big wrap-up episode.
Right.
And then we can kind of at the end give sort of our general thoughts on the whole
the whole season.
the whole season, and then maybe a few things like we would like to see in season 3, because
Right,
it is officially happening.
It was like a sandwich for me. It was like down, up, down. The down for me was the episode starts, and I know I mentioned in one of our podcast episodes how many things they had to wrap up. All of the different storylines and story threads and character things that I'm like, okay, they're going to have to resolve this possibly, or at least acknowledge it. Yeah. At first, it dealt with Deathstroke and them fighting off Deathstroke.
Yeah.
And all of that was kind of a down for me because I felt like, dude, y'all built this up.
Yes.
And the way that it played out, I wanted more. I wanted more of how Deathstroke felt about them. I wanted more of how things sort of resolved themselves with Ravager and Jericho. I felt like was very, very quick. I wanted more of the reveal of here's Nightwing in the suit.
It was resolved in 12 minutes.
Very quick.
Dude,
I wanted more.
I looked at the timeline and I was like,
yeah,
Deathstroke's dead already.
That's
what
it.
are we gonna do for the rest of this episode?
Even with that, I'm like, to take him off of the board, to take off Isai Morales, to take off Deathstroke, I'm like, at least hint that he could maybe bounce back from that. Maybe he has a healing factor. Maybe there's some comic book bullshit to be able, that I just felt like it was all so fast to then get to. And then also the rest of the Titans, the women Titan characters were like in the car, and I'm like, get out of the car.
Yeah.
Like, go kick this guy's ass. Don't just let Dick Grayson. I love Dick Grayson, and he's very skilled.
Yeah.
But like, and he was
Why
like,
is
this
this not
is
a
my
team
fight.
effort?
Right. I'm like, I wanted that sort of moment.
Right.
Then you go for me to the up, which was the way that they dealt with Superboy. I felt like was mostly pretty good because there was still a lot of rushing with Superboy. I felt like only got really one episode to be a character, and every other episode he was like in a coma.
Yeah.
He was like getting brainwashed by Cadmus. So it's like just to get to the end weapon of him as a Cadmus villain.
Yeah.
The way that they are you doing Superboy? What is this?
Superboy?
That's what he's like. He's a zombie, basically.
So like finally they
Good
got
impression, Adam.
they got that Raven powers on him, right? We got the Donna Troy lasso of truth, Juju. So all these things are happening where he snaps out of it. The little moment where Dick Grayson goes into his, like they're in each other's head, and he flies out of that field that looks like Kansas.
That was fucking cool.
That was fucking cool.
I was like, thank God he flies.
This very Superman Superboy moment,
Right.
and then here's where it went down for me, and it was tough to recover. The death of Donna Troy.
That was the
First of all, I
worst.
genuinely love this character.
Yes.
I love the actress Connor Leslie. I think she
Right.
is phenomenal.
Right.
I was disappointed with the reveal of her loving Aqualad earlier in her life, and that's what
Right.
led to a lot of her, like, the Titans are done. I was like, it was so cool when it was you and Kory.
Yeah.
It was so cool when you were this autonomous character
Right.
versus, it's because of
It's like buddy cop thing.
of a boy.
Yeah.
Right. I like the buddy cop stuff. So to see her dramatically be removed from the story, I get it, but I wanted more of basically like a more true to the character reason. Make it something to do with Themyscira. Make it something, you know what I mean? Like, she has to leave. She dies.
Yeah.
She sacrifices herself. She sacrifices herself fighting Ares. Maybe just something where I'm like,
I think it's really weird that Raven goes to Themyscira just
Yeah.
willingly, and Donna dies
Yeah.
and goes to I'm like, why
Yeah.
couldn't Donna just be like, I'm
Let
done.
come with me.
Just the way that it was executed in the story and the way that the show sort of shot it, where it's like, okay, a thing's falling. It's that dumb joke of Prometheus, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like, dude, run this way, don't
Right.
run.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
That
Exactly.
frustration then led to like, just earlier than
Why
that,
didn't Superboy just stop
she
it?
was getting punched by Superboy and she was
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
the holding the thing and being electrocuted. And I understand that she's like half human. She's not full on
Right.
as powerful as Wonder Woman. I get it. But all of those things, the fact that Superboy was standing by, Starfire, Raven, other characters that have
Everyone.
like
Right.
powers
They're just
or,
going, look.
it
What
was
happened to that Raven grabby thingy where she can hold people?
right.
And, like,
It was
I don't know.
really disappointing and
Yeah,
tragic.
yeah.
And then the rest of the show felt as though it was, now we're setting stuff up for season 3. And I just kind of felt like,
Too
guys,
much.
dramatically, I understand why things happened the way they did. I wish it had gone a different way.
Yeah, last week when Zach and I talked about episode 12, what was it? E.L._.o
yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
We came up with a hashtag, Titans. Tighten it up. Titan
Titans
Titans.
need to
That's
tighten
the
it up.
season
Yeah.
3 campaign is
Yeah.
Titan Titans.
Yeah.
Less writers, less directors, less episodes, more focus.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say that's my biggest thing. And like I agree with you. I think there's a lot to appreciate, and I think most of that comes from the characters they introduce and the actors that play
Yes,
them.
the cast.
Right.
A lot of there's interesting concepts, but I think a lot of the executions were not done in the best way possible.
I agree.
I also think it's really weird that we're building up towards Nightwing. Like it's a build up every single season, and it feels so long and drawn out and all this stuff. But then you give it to us in the first 7 minutes of the episode, and the trailer for the season finale made me
Gives it
way
away.
more excited
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it. And then when it happens in the episode, I'm like, oh, that's it? Okay.
That's it.
I was
Yeah.
expecting
Yeah.
like
Right.
something bigger.
Right.
So that was a little bit disappointing. And yeah, I agree. Like none of the other characters do anything. Why would Starfire go out there to deflect his fire when she knows she's powerless? Like, couldn't Raven do that? I don't know.
That was so pointless. It was so pointless.
And I feel like also every time they're in a situation like the fight with Deathstroke or they're at that carnival where they're trying to fight or stop Beast Boy and Superboy,
Sure.
yeah.
you know, Ravager, Rose just shows up. Dad, I'm going to side with the Titans.
Yeah.
Great. That's cool.
Right.
I mean, that arc was sort of in place the whole season. Granted, that character had great moments, but overall we didn't get enough time with her. Whatever.
Right.
But I like that moment. But then Hank shows up, Hawk shows up randomly, and you're like, you guys are just randomly allowing characters to pop up where they
Right.
need
Yeah,
to be, other than
exactly.
like
Right.
giving them a reason or letting the story give them a reason to be there.
Right.
Because you get to the end, you're like, yeah, how could Donna be killed if you literally have 7 superheroes around her who could help her, you know, stop that pillar from falling or whatever the case may be?
It was probably an external choice that they were just like, well, this actor maybe has different jobs now
Yeah.
and isn't going to come back. But
Part of me wonders if a
it's
lot of
really
that stuff
dumb.
was reshot too, because I don't know. I was watching that final scene with Dick and Raven when she goes on the plane to go to Themyscira.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the shots. I'm like, this looks something about her like wig or something looked weird. And I'm like, this looks reshot. Maybe it's not.
That
but
plane, at the very last shot of the plane,
Yeah.
looked whack. Like
Yeah.
they've done such good VFX on this show.
Mm-hmm.
That plane shot as it was flying away, I was like, that I could have done that in 5
Yeah.
minutes on my computer.
Wow.
Like it looked bad.
It wasn't trying to turn invisible. It is
No,
the
it
Themyscira
was
jet.
it was not.
Why wasn't
it's
it
not Wonder
invisible?
Woman's
Yeah.
invisible jet. It was
Okay.
just a regular jet.
This is regular private jet.
God.
The other
So maybe
frustrating
you're
thing, other frustrating thing for me is I really like Beast Boy and I really like Ryan Potter as Beast Boy.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been shortchanged so much this season. He literally does nothing. He's
Right.
cooking in the kitchen. He's like watching, you know, babysitting
Taking
other
care of-
characters.
yeah.
He's like house sitting, and then he like turns into a tiger every single. I'm like, doesn't Beast Boy turn into a bunch of things? Why is he a tiger all the time?
Yeah.
That's why it's called Beast Boy, not Tiger Boy.
I guess. Yeah, I know. It's like you guys have just like one model that you made. You're like, this is all we can afford.
all
Just
they
a
can
tiger.
It's-
all right.
Yeah.
I can show you where there are free rigs for other animals online. I have downloaded them, and they are tutorials that you can
Imagine
learn
if you turned
on.
into like a gorilla and stopped that thing from falling.
That's one of his
Yeah,
most
an
famous
elephant.
transformations
An
in Teen
elephant.
Titans Go.
Yeah.
Like an ostrich. Give
blue
me
whale.
a bird. Give
Yeah.
me something. Like
me something
it's just
fun.
the.
It would have been a fun way
agree.
for him to make fun of Nightwing, to be like, "Oh, you're a bird now." And he turns into an
Oh yeah,
ostrich.
check it
like,
out. Prap.
Yeah,
I'm a bird now too.
we got one kind of funny line from Hawk about that,
Which
where
I
he's
thought
like,
was good.
Things got fucking ugly, and he's like, I'm here. And he's like, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what
Is
I'm
this
saying.
the part where you insult my
That's
suit?
the-
And like, I just did.
I
It's the
just
only
did.
good
Yeah.
joke that was there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and I know we've talked about it a lot throughout the season of how this show sets up a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and it promises a lot of things, but it like doesn't pay it all off at the end. You know, they set up Deathstroke and Jericho and the sister and Cadmus and Superboy and and Lex Luthor
Yeah.
and Superman, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And there's like you said, there's a list of 15 things that they set up, and I'm like, you didn't need to do all this.
No.
I personally
Right.
think you should have picked. You either do Deathstroke,
Right.
and his family. And honestly, Jericho was kind of a waste in this season.
Jericho's a huge waste.
I think it should have just been focused on Rose.
Absolutely.
And you remove Jericho, you replace her with Rose, and like
And
you would have been good.
Rose could have done the Terra storyline, the Judas
Yeah.
contract, where again she infiltrates the Titans.
Exactly.
And then you learn like, oh, she's actually working with Slade,
Yeah.
and then same thing happened at the end of the season, which is she betrays Slade. Still could have happened.
Exactly.
Right,
exactly.
Or the flip side is like just do Superboy and Cadmus. The
Right.
whole
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
either one of those things.
But then
so
they set up Starfire's backstory and her sister and all this stuff. I'm like,
Yeah,
you didn't,
and now
you didn't pay any of this off.
Is she the big bad now of season 3?
It seems like it
apparently,
with that
right? But
episode.
also
Yeah.
the last episode they mentioned Lex Luthor. He's on the phone and he's pissed off
Yeah.
about something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, guys, what is
Yeah.
gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then apparently Batman is not the person who sent them to that diner.
right. So
You
it's
know?
like,
So
is
there's-
it Raven? Is
Right.
What they
The
were
episode
hinting at?
ended, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
What?
would I'm morbidly curious now about watching the next season just to see
Yeah.
how this shit show plays
For
out.
sure.
Look, we have unfortunately been watching and comparing and contrasting the show to Mandalorian, to Watchmen
Very
especially.
unfortunate.
I understand that they are
Yeah.
different altogether. But at the end of the day, it's still television.
Still quality.
Right.
And it's still a thing where, like, I'm watching The Mandalorian, I'm watching Watchmen,
Right.
and to me, I love Watchmen even way more than Mandalorian. I'm
same.
really enjoying Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But both of those shows have, like, it feels like an end goal.
Objectives.
An objective this
It's
story
a very clear arc.
beginning, middle, end here.
Yeah.
And this show, whether it is because of production, whatever the production dictates, whether it's like scheduling, budgets, I understand that all of these shows have budgets.
Right.
And Titans might not have the budget of the other shows that I mentioned,
Sure.
possibly. But at the same time, I want this show to feel as though they have planned out the 13 episodes.
Right.
That they've been like, here's what each of these characters are going to do. Here's the role they're going to serve versus just bringing in Superboy because it's Superboy from the comics.
Right.
Like, bring him in if it serves to affect the rest of the characters. Look at a show like Young Justice as an example. There'll be entire episodes where, where's Robin? Oh, he's in Gotham doing the thing with, he's doing the Cape Crusader dynamic duo thing with Batman. Why? Because Robin Dick Grayson would not benefit this episode at all.
Exactly.
And this show doesn't do that so much as it does, okay, now we're doing the Superboy episode. And we're going to sort of save money because we don't have to pay necessarily the actors and characters to populate it because we're just going to focus on these sort of like bottle episodes. And that can kill momentum. We've talked about that. And it can seem as though things are sort of happening as they're happening versus this is where the beginning, middle, end of the Deathstroke storyline, the Cadmus storyline, and maybe like the Starfire sister storyline will converge.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like that. And I want it to because these characters deserve that.
I agree. And also, I think what's really hurting this show is this fake angsty darkness that they're trying to pitch.
Get away from it.
With this.
What are y'all talking about Titans?
Talking about Titans.
Why?
Titans.
It's the season
Titan
review,
Titans.
season recap, dude.
Hashtag
Okay, watch season 1. It's better.
hashtag Titan Titans.
Titan Titans. We like that hashtag.
Tighten it up.
So this kind of dark angstiness feels like it's coming straight out of Hot Topic. Like it's
Yeah.
just like
It also feels like it's very much them going, we got to be different from the CW.
exactly.
Right.
Like it feels
Right.
very forced. It
It-
does not
it-
feel natural.
It doesn't feel a good fit for Beast Boy.
No,
it doesn't feel
not
a
at
good
all.
fit for Superboy
No,
or for
not at
some
all.
of those
Fuck
characters.
you, Dick Grayson. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, dude. Like they're dropping all these F-bombs, and I'm just like, oh, God.
For
no,
some of
no,
the,
no, no.
I don't know. It's like, I understand wanting to make. Okay, I've said this before 100 times. It doesn't make sense to me for you to make a show that's supposed to be like the launching pad for your whole streaming service.
Right.
That's supposed to like, DC fans, this is for you, and then
Yeah.
you make it restricted to only a certain audience.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you
yeah.
want to capitalize on every audience
Everything.
member in your
right,
market?
right. I feel
And I'm not saying making a kid show.
No.
You
No.
can still make something that's like
All
age
ages.
appropriate, but it's still like all ages.
if you were to take out all the F-bombs and all the boobies we saw,
Yeah.
and the sex scenes, the show still would have been
Unless it's-
exactly the same.
Yeah, unless it's, Hockey's a pretty hunky honk.
Are you talking about Hunks Donk?
Hunks
Hunks
honk?
Donk.
We
Yeah.
never saw Hunks Donk.
No.
And we kind of saw some Beast Boy pubes.
A little bit.
Kind of.
That
We
was
saw some,
weird.
we saw some
Honestly,
bush.
expected them to be more green.
They should have been green.
Not gonna
At
lie.
least the tips.
Yeah, at least like bright neon green
Yeah.
tips. But no, you're absolutely right, Adam. Like nothing would have changed if they would have changed the tone on this.
Versus if you take out some of that sort of violence and content for like Watchmen, it's a different sheet.
It's a
Yeah,
completely
yeah,
different
You
show.
take it out of even like
Right.
the Deadpool movies. It's like that's a different.
It's completely
I
different.
think also like to what you're saying is like with a character like Deathstroke,
Right.
you allow that character to bring in the intensity
Right.
and like the very like adult grittiness to it.
Yes.
That's
Everyone else, because to everybody else
Here's-
that should be like, oh
Here's
shit,
here's
we're
a
in trouble.
comparison I want to make. The Harley Quinn cartoon show is also rated R. It's like for adult audiences.
Yeah.
All the villains in that show cuss and they're gnarly violent. Like Harley Quinn will take her hammer and bust a dude's and his bone will pop out.
Yeah.
But Batman on that show doesn't cuss.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like they're kind of keeping it sort of true to the world where like
Right.
Batman and Commissioner Gordon, who's really overworked and
Yeah.
stressed out
Yeah.
drinking coffee, are sort of the normal versions of the characters that we know, but a little heightened.
Yeah.
But Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are the ones that are like, hey, I'm going to go get something to eat. Just fucking text me what you want. Fucking text it. Like that.
Just
I'm like,
super-
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's real.
If,
That
if
makes
these
sense.
characters were real in real
Yeah.
Gotham, like
Yeah.
Joker would be a piece of shit human.
Right.
And they would kind of talk like this. So
Yeah.
that, you're totally right. The villain side can bring that.
Right,
Violence
right.
and intensity. And the Titans can be the side that's like,
Yeah.
look, we're just trying to maintain the peace and not kill people.
Yeah.
Right.
But they kill
And I
they
think
cuss
when I think when a hero brings that,
Yeah.
then it's like the stakes have now like jumped
Right.
up a few
If you were to
notches.
hear
Yep.
Batman curse in that context of that show,
Yeah.
it would be a game changer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's a
Like,
line
we
that
really
they're
messed
setting.
up.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
setting boundaries. None of these characters have boundaries at this point. They're all just like off the wall, just like whatever. Everybody's edgy. You feel like everybody could be an asshole at any moment, which is kind of crappy, you know, like because not all these people are assholes.
That's why my favorite episode was in the middle of the season, Deathstroke.
Yeah.
That episode because they
That
were
was
all
episode 4?
working together to try to go take him down, and they were like on each other's team.
That was a Titans
and they got
episode.
it done.
That was a shining episode of what this show should have been. It's also why I'm so disappointed in this freaking season because Deathstroke had such high potential.
Yeah.
Like the way we were talking about him, I do not throw around these comparisons lightly, where like he was legitimately menacing.
Yes.
Right at the beginning, and you didn't know what he was going to do.
Yes.
And you were so on edge about where he was going to show up next, just like the Shape, that it gave the show a really good intensity that did not follow through.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Which really, really
Again,
sucks.
even the way he was taken out, it was like too quick. Where I'm like, if we're trying to move out of this to get to the Superboy thing, to get to the thing, to me it means like, okay, maybe these story elements aren't really coming together.
Yeah.
Which means I would have preferred if they focused on one.
Yeah.
And even left the Superboy thing for next season. Oh,
Yeah,
Cadmus
it.
still has him.
They could have
But
left all
I
those
mean, they didn't do anything with him, so they could have left it.
They could have left everything.
There was nothing that Superboy did in the finale that made him a necessary character.
Right.
Like,
No,
there was nothing
none
that
at
he
all.
added to the lore that
No.
you're like, oh, this was so important to have it in
Right.
season 2.
Right.
They could have
It was
spent
mostly
a
just
whole
like, we should do it because we can.
Right. They could have spent a whole season fighting him alone.
Yeah.
He just shows up as an
Yeah.
adversary at any point. The team would have been
And
together.
by season 3, y'all could have got Superman.
Dude, come on, man. That would have been amazing.
Yep.
But, yeah, I feel like this season, as much as I didn't like it, makes me, like I said, morbidly want to watch at least the beginning of the next season.
I'm bummed because I like all the actors a lot.
It's not the
do
actor's
enjoy
fault.
them. It's
No.
not.
It's not the actor's fault.
It's-
It's the
it's-
crappy writing.
Yeah.
And I think it's the production budget, too, because I feel like
We can
they
feel
are
it
not.
sometimes.
Titans.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
We
Like,
can feel
look
it
at
sometimes.
look at
Give
the
me
kind
8
of budget they're spending on Watchmen and on Mandalorian. The writing is on point. Like,
Dude.
almost everything is firing on all cylinders. Not that I don't have an issue with
Watchmen,
Mandalorian,
it's
too.
like, it's not even all cylinders. It's next level.
There you go.
It's like the depth
Right.
and the payoff and the setup.
And
oh
we
my
understand
God.
that Watchmen, the source material, is always going to be different than Titans or Teen
Right, of
Titans, the
course.
source material.
Right.
But it's still this
It's
level
just so
of
impressive what they did with
it's
it.
just it's level of it feels like the whole dang thing was written before
Absolutely.
they filmed cameras
they
day
had
one.
something to say is what happened.
And
like,
so what is season 3 going to be? What are we going to? What is the show going to say about these characters
Right.
and this brand and the
Right.
Titans or the Teen Titans, whatever it is? Where is it going to start? Where is it going to end? You know,
or is it
there's
just fan service to see more suits?
a lot of spinning
know?
plates, and
Which
I would love.
Nightwing suit was dope, though.
It
Yeah.
was, like,
But you
that's
know what?
not the issue.
I
though.
want
No,
him
of
to
course
say
not.
Yeah.
the name Nightwing. I
Yeah.
want him to say, you know,
Right.
I want there
So
to be.
who are you?
I want there to be a conversation about, well, why no cape? You
Right.
know,
Right.
you had a cape before. What is that? What are these things
And
afford you?
I want him to pour out a 40 for his homies in jail, because that's
Seriously.
what you do. Like,
They got out, though.
His homies, yeah, but still. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they did get out.
Those
but
guys got out.
You still need
But
to
there's
pour.
a bunch of
He went
homies
you
back
still
in
need
there.
to pour some of your 40 out for your
Right.
homies that
Yeah.
aren't
You're
with you
welcome.
anymore. Like,
Yeah.
they gave him the name. They gave him the idea. Where is
Again,
that?
How and why did Bruce Wayne allow Dick Grayson to go to prison? But then Bruce Wayne shows up at the end, like, let's have some food.
Yeah.
I'm
some
like,
Thanksgiving
bro, where you
dinner."
been?
Yeah.
This was
Where you been? What you
frustrating.
been doing?
Your son, your adoptive son, went to prison,
Yeah.
and now he's like an escaped, like prisoner. Like
Right.
he's
Yeah.
still going to be
He's-
wanted
Dick
by
Grayson
the
at
law.
large
He's
forever.
an escaped felon from
Yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
That's
Are you
not
doing-
good for his personal
Are you
life.
doing heavy lawyering here, Mr.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne? Like
What
getting him
kind of
off?
strings are you pulling?
What's going on?
For real.
We know rich people get ahead, but
Paying
damn,
off a
dude.
judge?
But hot damn.
Yeah.
Case dismissed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see Bruce Wayne
I
being
know,
a
right?
real shitty
Be
guy
like a real crappy
who's
person.
just like, how much is it gonna cost?
He's like, and he's gonna go to USC.
30 million, 35 million. Oh, damn. Okay, done. Yeah, and he's getting. I just wanted him to have an opportunity.
Yeah, he
now he's going to USC.
he's going to USC and he is on the
He's
rowing
like,
team.
He's like 29.
yeah.
Like early 30s.
He's still going to USC.
Yeah.
He's still there. He's still there. Season 3 for me, I would really like to see again the hashtag Titans. It's not gonna happen. It'll be probably another 13 eps, but I'll be very happy if they're like, you know, we're gonna do shorter season, 8 to 10. Great, thank God.
Yeah.
I want the trend of pulling the team apart to stop.
Yeah.
The team should be together
All the time.
I think there's opportunities for the team to be the team, but they go on separate missions
Right.
to solve different
way.
parts of the same puzzle and then bring them back.
You know what's gonna
but
happen?
I don't necessarily need to be like, we're done. We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
We're back together. We're
Raven's
done.
dad
We're
is
done.
going to show up episode 1 of season 3.
Trigon.
And they're all going to disappear. They're all going to disperse again.
Christ almighty. It sucks too because like I was super excited for this season, especially after that Deathstroke episode. I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
this is only going to go up from here.
Yeah.
And then it like would go steady and
It
then
wavered,
down
and
and then
then-
like steady and then down and then steady, and we got to the finale and I was like, oh
Yeah.
god damn it.
Yeah, I
It's the
know.
first time we're seeing Nightwing live action. I want this shit to slap.
I did really like how they handled his batons in the choreography.
Mhm.
It looked really cool when he was swinging
It
them around.
was.
That was
A
great.
Screama sticks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not much else to say positive
Yeah,
about that.
I also I was fine with Bruce Wayne. I think there's a lot of parts where he didn't really need to exist.
Were you fine with Bruce Wayne, though?
I mean, in terms of the portrayal, I think it's whatever. Like, you can't change that now. But I think I really want the focus of season 3 to be on the Titans and
As a team.
as a team. And I want Hawk and Dove to be there, but I really want Beast Boy and Raven and Starfire to really have something to do.
Yeah.
I want the purpose of why they're on the show to like be examined and to be solidified. I feel like with Raven towards the end, we got a little bit more about Beast Boy. I'm kind of like, why are you here?
Yeah.
What are you adding to this story other than
Tigers, bro.
Other than like,
He's adding tigers
you're
to
in the
the-
comic book and in the animated
Yeah.
series,
Yeah.
so we have to put you in here. And then I don't know what you're gonna do with Superboy.
Right.
So I don't know.
Tigers,
I think
bro.
it could be
That's what he's
interesting if there is some sort of like resolution with Cadmus Labs or what the next step of that is going to be. But if you're also bringing in Starfire's sister, and that's going to be a pivotal point of the season, then like don't start like mingling up all these crazy storylines. I think it'll be too busy.
No new stuff. Focus with what we've got.
Yeah, absolutely.
you've set up a
Focus on
lot.
the aftermath of your friend dying that you clearly cared so much for.
Yes.
Focus on those feelings, and then have one villain. Don't separate the team, and go from there.
Blackfire.
Blackfire.
That's it.
There
That's
you go.
It. That's
she
it.
is ultra powerful.
That's it.
And help Starfire get her powers back.
Yeah, and I mean, if anything, you could use, and this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought Deathstroke, in some capacity, was going to team up with Cadmus Labs
Right,
to try to
right,
take
right,
down
right,
the
right.
Titans, and that never came to fruition.
No.
So maybe there's an opportunity with Blackfire and Cadmus to do something.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that plays a part into the story again. Do you guys think that at some point next season, Connor Leslie will come back if Raven's able to help sort of like,
I think
bring
so.
her back to life?
I believe.
Pull
I believe.
souls from the afterworld.
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Maybe there's some iteration of the Lazarus Pit in Themyscira. I don't know. Maybe. I hope so. I really like Connor Leslie as Donna Troy.
Yeah,
I
same.
like Wonder Girl. I want her to come back and be like, now I'm Troya. Or now I'm,
Yeah.
some new name or something. So that's what I want.
You look really upset, Hector.
I really like her.
She's
I was
great.
bummed, dude.
I like all those.
I wouldn't have been as bummed if it wasn't like a punk death where I'm
Right,
like,
right.
ah.
If it was
no,
a really epic,
right?
like
Man, that
earned
death.
death,
Right?
then I would have been like, "Damn, I'm sad to see her go." But they did it so
Yeah.
well. I'm cool with
Sacrifices
it.
herself
No,
to kill
she
Deathstroke
did
or
give
something.
it like
Yeah.
the way that they had her. So she sets down the thing for
Well,
enough time
we
for
don't-
her.
I know we don't have to
God
get into it.
dang
It's
it.
it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate.
There's about
Yeah.
15 other ways it could have been written
No,
for it to be
no.
way better.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. But we want to know all your guys' thoughts on what you thought. Do you think that Titan Season 2 stuck the landing for this finale? What do you think that they should hopefully discuss, set up, execute in Season 3? Are there any loose threads that you think they need to worry about or not worry about, and just tighten it up and just let's focus on the main core characters?
Hashtag Titan Titans.
Titans. I would love to know your guys' thoughts, and also let us know if we should do another podcast for Season 3. We're kind of up in the air. We're not
Yeah.
really sure because
I don't know.
some of us do want to see sort of like the resolution of Season 2, but then there's also a part of me that's kind of like, well,
If it's more of the same,
There's
Yeah.
so many other shows to watch.
yeah, there's so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I'd rather do Watchmen, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did this instead of Watchmen, and I'm
Yeah.
a little bummed about it.
And it's okay.
But,
It's okay.
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it
We
is.
want to continue doing more stuff like that. So let us know in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys in the next review. Bye-bye.